Hey guys, this is Azrael. I'm doing a commentary video for Napoleon Total War Online. This is a 2v2 battle, and me and my ally, who happens to be a good friend of mine, are fighting on the map Spanish Lakeside. What's interesting about this map, pretty typical for your standard Napoleon Total War map, what it has is a nice little flat plateau here, covered with some trees, some shrubs, and obviously the intricate buildings here. But then, just when you think, you got this battle handled and all in the bag, you look to your left and oh, chi mama, we got a large hill to your left. What are we going to do about that? That's exactly what I hope to help you guys with here today. I'm playing as the Ottoman Empire. Like I said, my friend's playing as Great Britain. We're fighting against a French army and a British army. And before the battle even really kicks off, you can see already the French, the British, and myself are all vying for control of this large and very intimidating hill. I will tell you, the interesting part of this map is if you lose control of this hill, you're either going to have to pull back and corner yourself between these mountains, or you're going to lose. There's really no compromise on that. So, a horse battle is already kicking off. We got some chasseurs à cheval going up against my Delhi horsemen, I got 2 units of Delhi horsemen. That's different from my usual setup. Anyway, what my Delhi horsemen do is they're just like cavalry. They're meant to hit the enemy where they need to be hit. But luckily for me, the cover of the trees only allowed 2 of my men to be killed by his mounted horsemen's fire. Now, following close up behind my horses are my light infantry, my Nizam Sadi infantry, and my Nizam Sadi light infantry. So what we're going to see here is I'm going to push my infantry up as fast as I can to meet his horses, because as you can see, that's all he has. That was the mistake on his part. There's no infantry to support his cavalry, and as we all know, infantry versus cavalry in this game is a very large disadvantage for the enemy unless they hit your infantry when they're not in square. So we're going to see how this turns out for the enemy, see how long of a battle it's going to be for this hill. As you can see, though, he is moving some units of heavy cavalry, his life guards, up with his rifles. So I'm going to have to deal with his extra long-range infantry along with his cavalry. But we're going to find out. I'm trying to open up fire from the woods here. Unfortunately for me, I was too dumb to realize that there's a big old, I don't want to say a hill, but there's a big old hill to my right that I'm shooting into, which is my own fault. So what I'm going to have to do is push my men up even farther, get them to about this position so they still have the cover of the trees, but they're going to be firing outwards. So we're going to see how that develops. As you can see over on my right, my ally, Great Britain, he's moving his troops up to lock this plateau down. Now his objective is to make sure that France can't keep funneling troops into this, entrance onto the side mountain. He wants to make sure that France is going to be pushed off of that, and we're going to turn the battle into a flat terrain battle out in here. That's our main objective, but we're going to see how I handle this hill. For the most part, Great Britain is just trying to keep them from funneling too many troops into that position, but the real action is happening over here. So as you can see, now we're trading light infantry fire. A few are dying here or there, but nothing too significant. And now I'm starting to move up the main bulk of my other light infantry way over on his right. Now, mistake on his part, his voltigeurs are not supported by infantry or cavalry, so my Delhi horsemen are going to have a field day ripping him apart. He does have infantry coming up here, but they're not in a position where they're going to be able to combat my cavalry. And then his riflemen are completely exposed, so I'm just going to hit them while I can. And then on top of that, I notice that he's not supported, so my heavy infantry, my Nizam Sadi infantry here, are going to charge his riflemen. So overall, it's good for me, because I get to tear up his light infantry. I also get to attack him with my heavy infantry and rout those. As you can see, the battle just started off, and a combined French force of British and French are going to be pushed off this mountain. So I'm going to take the time to name this the Mountain of Azrael, because, well, that's something to be proud of. Now, I've mentioned it before, but the artillery in Napoleon Total War, the detail and the effectiveness of it is just absolutely amazing. As I would say, it is dirty.
Our men are running, sir.
But Unfortunately for the French here, you can see that they're firing into the hill, much like my light infantry are firing. What you want to do on this hill is either get them to a position right about here on the map, or you want to get them up to right on the lip of this ridge to fire downwards if you have control of this top sector. Always remember, the point in warfare is to get your troops to the higher elevation, so if you have control of this part of the hill, you're good. Now you can see, sacrificing a few soldiers, I've lost about 40 out of this unit, but they have destroyed one entire unit of riflemen, and now they're going to move on to the next, and then the next, and then the next, until Great Britain decides to smarten up and do something about it. Right about now would have been a good time to turn his other two rifles around while he has the French supporting this side to attack my infantry, but unfortunately he doesn't recognize what's going on, and my infantry are going to continue to rip apart his riflemen. The good news for me, though, is that my infantry are going to be able to shoot right into the back of my light infantry. That is not my smartest idea, because my guys are going to be shooting into the back of my own men. So you want to talk about not paying attention to detail. Right there, gentlemen, is an example of how you do a good job of slaughtering your own soldiers. So I even detached a whole nother unit of infantry to try and take care of this rifleman and infantry threat. I'm going to set them up right on top of this hill to fire down upon the Polish Legion. Like I said, that's how you do it. You just have to take it one step at a time. I'm going to move my light infantry in front because they have the range advantage. This is going to be a golden opportunity to take control of this hill fully. Now, Great Britain, besides cannon fire and, you know, the French and the British setting up over here, have not really moved too much. He's doing a good job of holding the fort down, though. I will give him that. His troops do look dashing in uniform, though. I will say that. His light foot look exquisite. Very good job, whoever the Prime Minister happened to be at that time. I think it was William Pitt was the Prime Minister of Great Britain. But he realizes that this hill is pretty much lost, so it's going to be a good opportunity to push my infantry up, both on this right here to fire down on the main body of troops to relieve my ally Great Britain, and also to push my troops down from this hill to attack the main body. I don't even know what kind of a formation that is. I'm really not sure who these people are that we're fighting. I'm just going to tell you that ahead of time. I have never heard their names before, and I'm not going to try and remember. And as I have mentioned before to all the viewers who have seen some of my other videos, I don't speak French, so if I pronounce French names incorrectly, excuse me, but I don't speak French at all, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. Now, riflemen are not very good at taking bullets. They don't have Kevlar vests yet, and they're going to be taken down. The one thing that you want to remember with your light infantry, especially riflemen, is that they take a little bit longer to reload. They also are not very good against line infantry. That makes, you know, some sense there, seeing as they're just skirmisher units. What you want to do is keep them out of range of the enemy, especially cavalry, which is why you keep line infantry support behind them. And you want to screen the enemy troops. You hit them, then you pull back maybe, hit them, pull them back. You want to coax the enemy into doing something, but at the same time, you want to make sure that they aren't getting a little bit too friendly with your riflemen. So keep them out of range, keep support with them, and you should be golden with your riflemen if you can learn anything from that. So after this is all said and done, you can see a lot of dead British troops, some of my own cavalry, which was a worthy sacrifice, but for the most part, a lot of dead British troops as we took this hill. Now what it is going to be is me keeping reserves in the back, my light infantry opening up, and having some troops up here. I've also got grenadiers with me. I just want to explain the grenadiers role really quick. 1, they have good accuracy. 2, they have good melee attack and defense. And 3, they can throw grenades, which I love grenades. They do a wonderful job of blowing everything up that you throw them at. Now, tactically, that wasn't very good advice, but if I can tell you one thing, is that when you are in melee, heavy melee, or cavalry is charging your infantry, they might be able to hold up for a few seconds, but if you have grenadiers behind, you can just toss some grenades right into a big group of your enemy and kill probably a solid 30. They're not as effective as in Empire Total War, though, so I will say that. What you can do, though, is you can make sure that you're killing more than you would normally do with a volley. Grenades are effective like that. So what's happening now is we have a mass concentration of French and British troops here. If you have howitzers, now would be a good time to target the center of this to ease up their formation, I guess, to soften them up a little bit, force them to move. Great time for artillery, which is what my enemy's doing. I don't normally bring it because I feel like it just takes too much money and too much time away from maybe having another unit of infantry. It's just as expensive as having another 120 guns on your side. What Great Britain's doing now, I believe he sees that I'm adjusting. I'm actually going to be sending some of my troops, light infantry and heavy infantry, up here on this side, because one, I don't want to get flanked, and two, it's a good opportunity to distract a big bulk of the enemy's forces and push them over to defend this side of their flank. So what it's going to be now is just pretty much a staring contest as we get into position. What's going to happen, though, is if I notice that the enemy is too weak on their little right flank here, what I'm going to do is just push my soldiers up to help Great Britain crush through their center, even though they have the cavalry support behind. Speaking of which, let's take a look at their cavalry. They have the Chevaux Légers Lancers. Alright, guys, I already explained to you, I don't speak French, so if you could stop criticizing me from your laptop or desktop, I'd appreciate it. The Chevaux Légers Lancers, they are great. I believe they have 8 melee attack, 38 charge bonus, 8 melee defense, and 9 melee defense and 8 morale, if I remember correctly. They are great lancers. They are good at hitting the enemy hard when they're least expecting it, and they do a great job of routing light infantry especially. All you need to do is one charge into a unit of light infantry with cavalry like that, and your lancers will get rid of them. He has 2 units of those, it looks like, and then he has these chasseurs à cheval. They are mounted gunners. They are much like the light dragoons of Empire Total War. I believe France is actually the only nation that has something that resembles light dragoons like this, where they can fire from horseback. I might be incorrect, but nonetheless, he's got 2 of each. And now you can see Great Britain is readjusting. I haven't really taken a look at their army composition for you. I just wanted to show you how essential having control of this hill is. And then we can explain what we want to do tactically now. So you can see that they're concentrated now, both in the middle and on the right. Would be a good time to push forward down this side because you'd be out of range. So if you put pressure on them from here and you also put pressure on them from the side, what you're going to do is ultimately collapse their flank like that, especially with a light infantry advantage. As you notice, Great Britain doesn't have a light infantry advantage, so my light infantry is going to do a great job of both pushing him forward to where he doesn't want to be climbing up this hill, and also pushing him back even further, which is going to give me the advantage nonetheless. So I have to use that light infantry advantage to my own success of winning this battle. What you do want to keep in mind, though, it's very important to remember this, is when you're fighting a battle, you need to micromanage. I've mentioned this before in other commentaries, but micromanaging just essentially means that you're paying attention to one-on-one matchups. You want to make sure that you have support for riflemen. You want to make sure that your cavalry has infantry support. You want to make sure that your infantry has cavalry and light infantry support. If you do that, then you can maneuver those and you can manipulate those setups to have each one complement each other, which means that if my light infantry attacks and then he pushes the guy's infantry up, my infantry will shoot at his infantry, or I can push cavalry forward to distract, and then my infantry can move up and shoot at a unit in square formation. It's all logistics. Everything in war is logistics. I've heard someone say that before, and I thought it was a great quote, so I'm going to steal it, and I'm going to make it my own. All warfare is logistics, and it's based on deception. I'm also going to patent that one. Let me see here. I'm also moving cavalry up. That's a part of the whole manipulating the situation that I was talking about, micromanaging. I'm going to push my cavalry over here. That way I have light infantry, infantry, and cavalry support. So it should be golden for me. I also, now, you should be scared when you see these guys. They're called Bashi bazooks. Or my bazookas. I've got my bazookas here. They are quite literally just guys dressed up in turbans with swords. They're fillers. They have good melee attack, though, so if you need to distract a unit and kill a few of them in the process, you send in your bazookas, and they'll take care of them. Honestly, the Ottoman Empire is not bad. They have some decent Lancer cavalry. They have decent infantry as long as you get the Nizam Sadid infantry. Other than that, though, they're nothing really special. I don't know why I'm being them, honestly. I think they had a fatigue bonus on this map, but for some reason I'm starting to doubt my own judgment now because I haven't seen a fatigue bonus as far as they're concerned. I mean, just from running up this little tiny hill here, my guys are tired, winded, tired, very tired. It's kind of ridiculous that way. What I'm doing now, you can see I still have the hill advantage. They're going to be firing over my light infantry because they're in light infantry doctrine. But I'm going to try and push Great Britain's infantry forward, take some shots at them by inching closer. I have 100 range on their 80. So what I can do is hopefully get them to make some really stupid decisions, which will allow me to envelop them, charge them, envelop them. They have a nice formation set up, though. As you can see, they have a little double line, France and Great Britain. Oh, wow. That's a lot of dead British guys, as you can see. Open up. There we go. So now I'm going to pull back. That was a little bit of delayed timing on my part. As you can see, my guys did end up getting shot at. I lost a few here and there. Nothing too severe, but you have to time it perfectly to where you shoot and then you pull back automatically, because if their guys are within range, Great Britain has wonderful infantry, and that's not good for anyone, especially my light infantry. They don't want to be getting shot at by foot guards. Foot guards win, unless they get charged by my Ciotar guard. And no, I do not speak Turk, or actually I don't know what the correct name for their language is. Turkish? Some kind of Middle Eastern language, but the Ciotar guard, that's what they're called. I probably butchered that wicked. Once again, I don't need the criticism, guys. So what I did was I pushed up some of my own infantry to try to get the glory for this battle. Great Britain's going to have some in reserves in case anything goes wrong, but I volunteered these guys to help out just in case it comes to that. I've got 3 units of infantry, and I say I have some of the grenadiers behind. Like I said, I love grenadiers. And my Bashi bazooks. That's right. So you can see my ally has his riflemen shooting at Great Britain to try and pull them forward, just so my Nizam Sadid infantry can get some shots off on them. And now my Ciotar guard is going to charge into square formation. They're going to get shot at. And that, sir, is how you lose half of a unit of Ciotar guard. And now they're going to be shaken. That is horrible. I can't even believe that. See, this guy is clearly smart. He knew it was coming. So I'm going to have to break these guys down 1 infantry volley at a time. Fortunately for me, though, I've got 3 units of infantry over here that I'm going to plan on flanking this small section of troops with once my guys do their job. Unfortunately, this guy has cavalry support at the same time. So we're going to see how this happens. Let's take a look at some infantry volleys here. The detail of Total War. Alright, so some foot guards got taken down there. That's the good news. And my guys are going to continue whittling away at them from the trees, which provides some cover. I'm going to make them come forward even more because I'm outnumbered, essentially. So by playing that number advantage to my own benefit, what I'm going to be able to do is just shoot at them, pull back, shoot at them, pull back, until he either routs me or something else happens. Now, this is what I was talking about, sending the bazookas in. My guys are going to continue shooting. I mean, maybe not the best. I'm going to use this hill to my advantage as well by moving my grenadiers up here. I'm going to flank his foot guards, which are not supported by any infantry. My bazookas are going to run in there and chop some people up with their swords. Right now, what it is just a light infantry battle. France does not have as much infantry as Great Britain. So my ally, which is a good friend of mine in real life, is doing a wonderful job of whittling away the young guard, and essentially he's going to turn this flank here and concentrate in the middle. Let's take a look at my bazookas. They are cutting some British guys up right now. Like I said, they have great melee attack, which may not be the best, but what can you do? So once his foot guards start routing, hopefully they're going to start routing. Please start routing. Now let's go to the next unit. Charge. Bazookas. There we go. Flanking them from behind is a great idea. Foot guards don't do well at all with getting flanked from behind. See, now that's how you use a unit of like 400. I think they cost a ridiculously low number, but that's how you use them to... he just lost half of a unit there. He lost an entire unit of foot guards over here. But I didn't have enough men to really do anything with him anyway.
Our men are running.
Good news is he lost more than half of a unit there, which is going to allow me to move my grenadiers back down, fill this spot, and fire at Great Britain essentially. Which is now he's going to have to divert troops from this main body of troops right here to pull back some French, some of the French's troops to attack my Great Britain and Ottoman alliance with. So we're going to see what that is going to do essentially to France and Great Britain's war effort. My grenadiers are wonderful. Great accuracy. I think they have 45 accuracy. And foot guards are wonderful at absorbing bullets. So this has opened up their right flank in the center. If we can get this center to collapse, then we can focus all of our troops to attack this main force behind. And I need to figure something out quick over here so I can get... Now, what I would have done, now that I think about it, I would have used this hill to my own advantage, and I would have just turned their flank like this. See, because if I hit them where this Polish Legion is in the foot, if I readjusted my line, so you see where it is right now, if I shifted it to the left a little bit and I attacked them from here, I could have had this hill still locked down, but I would have collapsed them from their right. This is where their main body of good troops are. Some of their men are weak over here. Rout them quickly. Get the other men to rout, and then we'll be good. But let's see what I'm going to do now. My guys are holding up like champions over here. You want to talk about holding the line? They have probably killed a solid 300 of their troops over here. I don't know what they're shooting at, but that's all us. Polish Legion are taking some bullets to the face. Now he has to divert his cavalry again. What they're doing right now is a flip-flop, which is not going to work. And I have their back. They're compromised. They are compromised. His foot guards are compromised. That's opening up their back now. I am going to have ample opportunity to do what I need to do to them. And attack them from behind with cavalry. So, thank you very much. You are going to lose some soldiers, sir. I hate foot guards. I mean, I love them, but I hate them at the same time. There. Just lost almost 20 from that little volley there. I don't know what I was thinking by moving my guys within range of his foot guards. I knew my cavalry was going to rout sooner or later, but I thought it would have been a great idea to charge my grenadiers to throw grenades. This was a little bit of a mishap. I don't know. I was going to charge them with the grenadiers, but then they diverted over here. I would say that's a syntax error in the computer, but I can't blame everything on the computer. Oh, good night. That is how you do it. And they're going to throw another round of grenades. Check this out. There goes another 15 of your soldiers. There goes another 15 of your soldiers. And he sent his cavalry over, though. So, Grenadiers, you did your job. Thank you for playing. I appreciate it. But Great Britain's going to pick up the pieces. He's going to move his troops over here. So now we have them just outnumbered completely. We're going to be able to pull this battle off. It's just cleaning up the little bits and pieces that are left. This unit of infantry took some losses, but oh well, they did their job. Grenadiers took some losses, oh well, they did their job. Bashi bazooks, my bazookas also did their job. And now what we can do is push our number advantage. So, I think I mentioned in the last video, Sun Tzu said, when you outnumber the enemy, you want to attack them. When you outnumber the enemy 5-1, you want to surround them. When you outnumber them 2-1, you want to attack them. When they're the same number, you want to... I believe hold the line, he said, and when you're outnumbered, you want to retreat. So with that in mind, we're going to attack now. We are superior in numbers. Hopefully surround them But they don't really have many troops left. Great Britain's going to try to come over and help France somehow, but he doesn't have enough troops to do so with. Ultimately, it was a good battle. I do think that Great Britain did some good things over here by trying to hold the line with his French ally, but as far as surrendering this hill so easily, that was their ultimate downfall. So if you guys can learn anything from fighting on this map specifically, it's about fighting for this hill. Usually there's a lot more vicious combat for it, but there's not much you can do about it once you have lost the hill. So his guys are going to start running. Everyone's going to start running. My Delhi horsemen are going to give my guys enough time to run down here and shoot at his foot. Napoleon Bonaparte, in real life, actually mentioned that you want to make constant attacks of cavalry, which means pulling them back and attacking. That also applies and is very true in Napoleon Total War. If you can pull back your cavalry and stick it to the guy that you're playing with, you want to make sure that you do it, because, as you can see, this guy is not really doing much. So if you pull back, attack, pull back, charge, pull back and charge, you're going to do some damage to the enemy, as long as they don't go into square formation. If they go into square formation, you are screwed.
Glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Now, I don't know, but that is pretty ingenious, the little formation that my ally has set up. He's putting them in between two buildings, so there's no flanking fire that's going to be hitting those Coldstream Guards if the guys had enough troops to do so with anyway. Now, if you guys have any comments or questions on Napoleon Total War, Empire Total War, or Shogun 2 Total War, I'll be happy to try and answer them for you. If you have any comments on the video, I'd be more than happy to hear them, or any suggestions from your own personal experience playing Napoleon Total War on anything I may have done wrong. I'm more than happy to learn. For the rest of you guys, I am very happy if I could have helped you in any way improve your own tactics. Especially with this little formation. I've done it plenty of times with the light infantry in front and regular infantry behind. It's a great tactic as far as Napoleon Total War is concerned. He's got a big clump of troops here that are going to be shot down. Maybe you'll see some die here and there. We're going to follow the flag guy. Oh, so much for following the flag guy. That didn't take long at all. So it was a good battle. I killed 964. I lost 700. My allied, though, he killed 1,300, and he lost about, I will say, 1,000. Our enemies, they didn't do too bad, obviously, with the hill and then the formations they had set up. What they were asking for was to be surrounded. Not too bad of a battle, though. So like I said, leave any comments if you have any. I would deeply appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.